Patricia? Gill? Pat Gill?
All set? Good evening, guys. Thank you for coming out here on such a cold night. But we're going to start our meeting if everybody listens up. This is the Town of Dayton Board of Selectmen's regular meeting. Today is Wednesday, January 8th, 2025 at 6 o'clock p.m. We're in person and via Zoom at Old Town Hall, 1111 Somerset Avenue, Mass. This meeting is being recorded. The listing of matters are those reasonably anticipated by the chair, which may be discussed at the meeting. Not all items listed may in fact be discussed, and other items not listed may also be brought up for discussion to the extent permitted by law. This agenda was revised at 4:09 p.m. on Monday. So we're going to have a call to order, a pledge of allegiance, and then a moment of silence. If after we do the pledge of allegiance, if you could just stay standing for a few seconds, we want to just honor the people who passed away, friends and neighbors. There was a few of them this week and last week. So can I please have a call to order?
Nicole Mello, present.
Mark Pacheco, present.
And Peter Karen, present. If we could please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We lost, like I said, some friends and neighbors, and this is who they are. Roland Belanger, Michelle Boyer, Adele Collard, Sandra Kurt, Lorraine Howarth, Danny Cohen, and John Porter. Thank you, folks. First up is two great people who have been so nice to the town of Dayton. Certificates of recognition in honor of State Representative Patricia Haddad from 2001 to 2024, unbelievable. And State Senator Mark Pacheco, 1992 to 2024, again, unbelievable. How are you guys this evening? Good? As I stated, they are leaving the town in their positions, and I'm sure it's filled with mixed emotions this evening, a little bit of nostalgia and a little bit of fulfillment. But together they have worked tirelessly for the town of Dayton and to improve the residents here in our living standards. The results are incredibly proud to call, the residents are incredibly proud to call you our representatives, whether it was improving education or helping with our infrastructure. You helped Dayton have a better future. On behalf of our town, we want to take this moment to express our sincere appreciation for your support, your insight in helping with our shared goals. To show our appreciation, we actually planted two trees here at the Town of Dayton Town Hall complex. We figured you didn't need another plaque for your walls. I'm sure you would have hung it with pride, but we thought we'd try to do something different. So we do have a picture of the two trees here. There's one to the left and one to the right of the complex, and you get to choose which one you want, because there will be a little plaque put up to honor you guys. Does anybody else want to add anything?
I want to thank both of you. I know you were both effective legislators, and through your hard work and commitment, I know we all got to live much more comfortably and successfully here in Dayton. So I'd like to thank you both. Senator Pacheco, growing up, we do share a similar name, and I remember meeting you as a little kid at the State House, and so it's an honor to be here with you tonight and to honor your service. And I know from the sentiments at Town Hall was both of you were always so receptive when we were trying to get grants and earmarks and available for us. I've heard from Town Hall that those last-minute phone calls, you guys would, put papers together, it's a whirlwind trying to get those grants, and, you guys were available for the citizens of this town, so thank you.
You certainly helped us out. I can't count the number of times that we have called and you guys reacted. And I'm sure you did that to everybody, but we're a small town. And to treat us like you were treating a city was very impressive. And thank you for that. We have two certificates, one for each of you. And it says, the Town of Dayton Board of Selectmen, 979 Somerset Avenue, Dayton, Mass. 02715, Certificate of Appreciation. We, the undersigned, do hereby recognize Mark R. Pacheco for 32 years of dedicated service to the Town of Dayton. It is residents and its residents as our state senator. Your efforts and commitment have had a significant impact on many Dayton projects and initiatives, the successful results of which you will continue to have lasting benefits to our community for years to come. On behalf of our small town with a big heart, we extend our sincere gratitude. And for Ms. Patricia Haddad, we, the undersigned, do hereby recognize Patricia A. Haddad with 23 years of dedicated service to the town of Dayton and its residents as our state representative. Your efforts and commitment have had a significant impact on many Dayton projects and initiatives, the successful results of which will continue to have lasting benefits to our community for years to come. Again, on behalf of our small town with a big heart, we extend our sincere gratitude. So if you guys will come up and accept these certificates, we appreciate you very much. Many times we have been on the receiving end of you guys being here presenting something to somebody, so it's nice to have it the other way around. Thank you. And this is yours. Thank you. Hey, Mark, Mr. Pacheco, thank you very much. We appreciate it, sir.
Thank you. And is it with a C?
Oh, yes.
Actually, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. And here's your tree. So like I said, you can pick one.
I'd wait to see how they do and then pick.
Yeah. Yes,
I'd like to make a remark on behalf of all the selectmen
sure.
that came before me relative to working with Pat and Mark. As a fledgling selectman in 2007, who knew nothing about being a selectman or anything about building bridges or stormwater, both Pat and Mark were always there. And the people in this town, the surrounding community, southeastern Massachusetts, owe a large debt of gratitude because of their support for that bridge project. And many years we tried, and many years the money got yanked. And also to get the stoplights installed prior to any construction because of safety concerns. So I've worked with them since 2007 on many projects, but I really want to point out, thank you for the Berkeley-Dayton Bridge and everything you did for us.
Thank you. Nancy, were they part of the Oreo project?
Where is
Actually, if I'm gonna cite
he's over
somebody,
there?
I would cite our current police chief, who was on duty, I think, 24/7, or at least in daylight hours. And that's the bridge that was built with Oreo cookies.
Thank you.
would you like to say a few words?
Sure, absolutely.
Well, let me just say to you, Mr. Chairman, and to the members of the Board of Selectmen, and most importantly, to the townspeople here in Dayton, I wanted to say thank you.
Sure.
To the voters here and all the citizens here in this community for providing me with a special lifetime opportunity that I've had the pleasure of serving as the state senator for 32 years in the Massachusetts Senate, and 4 years prior to that in just a little neighboring community down the street in the city of Taunton, representing the citizens of Taunton in the House of Representatives. So 36 years of service to the Massachusetts legislature. And without the support and people here in the town and so many other communities that I had the opportunity of representing, I would have never had the opportunity to make some of the decisions that we've made. I also want to say it has been a special honor to work with Patricia Haddad. She is a blessing, really, to people in this region. We've been to parts of this world together on behalf of trying to fight for initiatives that will bring change and lasting change for the environment. I couldn't be more thrilled that you picked out a couple of trees. We was a couple of green trees ourselves here. And I just want to thank her publicly for always being there. When I pick up the phone, nobody can do this job by themselves. It's a collaborative position. You have to be able to work across the aisle with colleagues in the House, other colleagues in the Senate, to be able to get something done at the end of the day. Today, nationally and throughout the world, you see and hear a lot of rhetoric. Mm-hmm. People talk a lot about a lot of things, but it's a very different thing to actually get something done. You have to have the passion for it. Sometimes you need a lot of patience for it. And then you need a lot of persistence. And Pat Haddad has had all of those three qualities that I appreciate and believe that in any public servant, whether it's a member of the local school board or board of selectmen or a state representative, a state senator, those traits are crucial. The passion to really want to get something done, the patience to try to work through those difficult moments, and the persistence to stay on it, stay on it, stay on it, as I said in my farewell speech, until it gets done. Because until it gets done, it doesn't change the future. I'm glad that working with Pat, we were able to help change the future here in the town. Thank you.
Thank you. Tough act to follow.
It is, and that's why I let him go first, because
Sure.
then there's lots of things I don't have to say.
Yep.
But I, too, want to say thank you. Over the years, 24 years, I have worked with several of your boards, and you keep talking about Dayton having a big heart. You have a big heart because of the people. Because of the people I've worked with, a couple of them, a couple of the former selectmen are here in this room. And Mark's right. You can't do anything unless you have people working with you. And it's okay that sometimes we disagree, because at the end of the day, we're all trying to get to the same place, and that is making a better life. Making a better life for kids, making a better life for older people, where I am now, and for your average citizen who doesn't necessarily pay any attention to what is going on. They don't know that it takes amazing amount of coordination to have the kind of police department you have, to have the kind of fire department, to have the schools. It doesn't happen like that. It happens because people like you, and people, thankfully, like Mark, we're always there and always willing to work. So it has been truly the honor of my life to serve you. I keep crying. To serve you in this capacity for 24 years, and I wish only the very best. And I want to paraphrase what I don't know if anybody remembers what Joe Biden said. Because you lose an election doesn't mean you stop caring for people. So I will never stop caring for you, and I will always be here if you need me. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, you're more than welcome to stay for the rest of the show, or if you feel like you want to go out in that cold again. But thank you again.
Could we have a picture?
Sure.
Awesome. Could we invite former selectmen? in as
Absolutely.
well? Is that okay? One more time. Yeah, that'll be great.
He took an oath when he was elected, after he retired, that he would never wear a tie.
Oh, really?
Absolutely, he did.
Does that mean I never have to wear high heels?
Nobody bites. Nobody bites. Not today.
Okay, thank you.
All set.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. No, I think it's good. Thank you.
Thank you. It's good to see you again. Thank you.
That was me.
Not that we don't want to stay.
I know. That's okay. Chief Nichols, whenever you're ready, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening. Sergeant, how are you? Good, thank you.
Tonight I am very pleased to announce the promotion of Todd Kazuski to the rank of sergeant. In October, the promotional testing procedure was done. Patrolman Kazuski received the most cumulative points pursuant to the promotional testing procedure. Patrolman Kazuski was appointed as a reserve officer in December of 2013. In September of 2016, he joined the force as a patrolman. Over the past few years, I've had the joy of working with Patrolman Kazuski. I feel he'll be a great addition to the command staff at the Dayton PD. I'll be looking forward to the next decade working with Patrolman Kazuski. And if there's anything you ever need, feel you know that Deputy Richards and myself are here if you need anything.
Just one decade?
Well, maybe more.
Okay.
I don't want to jump too far.
Yeah, sure. Sergeant, it's a great honor that you're going to be here. I've heard nothing but great things. I haven't really met you that often, but Chief talks nothing but highly comments about you. So thank you for taking on this role. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Ms. Nicole, do you have anything you
No,
want to
just
add?
congratulations.
Mark?
I'm looking forward to you being on the leadership team, and we have a great team, and you'll be a great addition. So I'd like to make a motion to appoint Patrolman Todd Kazuski to the rank of sergeant.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Congratulations, sir. Good luck, sir. You're welcome.
Oh, you don't have to. Yeah, that
Sure.
would be great. Thank you.
Yes, I'm sorry. Sergeant, we have a certificate before we do the photo. This is from the Town of Dayton Board of Selectmen, 979 Somerset Avenue, Dayton, Mass. 02715. Certificate of recognition. We, the undersigned, do hereby congratulate Patrolman Todd Kaczynski for his promotion to the rank of sergeant. Your even-keeled demeanor, calmness, and ability to make rational decisions are characteristics vital to being a police supervisor, and the Town of Dayton is grateful for your service. Thank you, sir.
Chief, Deputy Chief Sergeant. Yes. OCD, sorry. No, we'll put it on that side. Closer, closer, no one's gonna bite it today. No. Perfect. Thank you, thank you.
Good job.
Good thing we had Kevin here. Good thing we had Kevin here. Who's on the cover?
So proud of you.
Thanks, Dave.
Welcome.
Patricia Gale's here, no?
Yeah, she's on Zoom.
Oh, okay. Hi, Pat.
Hi, how are you?
Good, and yourself?
I'm good, thank you.
How are you feeling?
What was that?
How are you feeling?
Oh, better every day.
Good. Okay, this is a review, discuss, and act. Patricia Gale's Historical Commission Chairman. Okay, whenever you're ready, Pat.
Okay, tonight I'm just asking you to approve the contract with Stacy Spies to complete the nomination form for, the Mount Hope Station Company and Village for the National Register of Historic Places. The funding is in place. We had approval at the special town meeting for the CPC funding for $8,500. The contract with Stacy includes some additional field work, some more photographs, and a more in-depth study of the area. Digital images, a PowerPoint presentation for the Mass Historical Commission, plus a completed nomination form that will be submitted to the Mass Historical Commission and then forwarded through them to, if approved, to the National Parks Service. So Stacy will be doing the work for us, and her fee is the $8,500.
Okay, thank you. Are there any concerns, guys? Nicole, Mark?
Do you recommend this contract?
Yes, it includes everything that we asked for,
Okay,
and the board, the commission had reviewed it and accepted it.
thank you.
Thank you. Okay, again, this was a review, discuss, and act, so do we have a motion on the floor?
I'll make a motion to approve the contract for the Mount Hope National Register through Stacy Spies as presented.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you, Pat.
Awesome, thank you so much.
You're
Have a good
welcome.
evening.
You too, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, ready for announcements?
The Highway Department public notice, there is a town-wide parking ban in effect from November 1st, 2024 to April 1st, 2025. No person shall allow any vehicle to remain in the street so as to obstruct snow removal. The Dayton Lions Club Food Bank will be held next on January 18th, 2025, located at Town Hall in the lower level. A message from the town's clerk office, the annual town election will be held on April 12th, 2025 at the Dayton Elementary School from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Nomination papers are now available at the town clerk's office on January 6th, 2025 for the listed in the agendas, offices and terms.
Great, thank you. We had at the portion where there's public input. Does anybody have anything they want to add at this time? We will address that again, so if you don't feel like doing it now, okay. Town administrators report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a few things to update the board on. I know Selectman Mello reached out to us regarding creating a revolving account for when the town receives tickets because of people parking in accessibility spaces. To create a revolving account, we have to take it to town meeting to do that. Just for your own information, I spoke with the town clerk, and just so you know, we only get about 2 or 3 of those tickets a year. So
Well, Dunkin' Donuts.
so
Did say that was a big place.
Yeah,
yeah,
right there.
actually, it's at Manford. That I think that's where they had gotten the tickets from. So the summonses were in there, but we'll look into it, and if under the direction of the board, we could
Sure.
and I'll work with the town accountant to see if we will put that on this town meeting.
Just for clarification, that's from the Commission on Disability. They had made that request.
Okay.
Because there's something in their bylaw that looks for those funds so that we can make improvements for accessibility.
Sure.
Using that money in.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
And the other update to the board is that as you all know, you've seen my emails. We're in the throes of the budget season again. I have to remind everyone that we're in a very tight budget season. I gave direction to the department heads, and I want to express my appreciation to them. I know the fire department and the police department came in. I directed the police department, fire department, and highway to see if they could not come in at level, but $50,000 less. And both our public service departments have done it. And I just want to express to this board that things go up, but it's going to come at a reduction of service, particularly in the fire department. And I know at a big discussion with the police chief this morning, I know in his budget he has to hire a new police officer, and he's looking at removing that from the budget. I just want to another thing we're looking at, again, at some point we're going to seek your advice, is to reduce the stipends to all committee and board members. Currently that total is about $77,000. We'll be seeking advice if we could bring it down to everybody to an honorarium of $1. And something else to keep in mind as we go forward, as I look at the numbers, a lot of this is a result of the debt we're obligated to pay as a result of BP, Bristol Plymouth. I think, I'm confident we could get through the next 2 years, but after that it's going to become increasingly difficult. I know we have some debt falling off over the next few years. That in particular the Dayton Rehoboth High School remodel is falling off at the end of fiscal year 26. The roof off of fiscal year 31, and the big, the headquarters off of fiscal year 38. I know it's far out, but those things come quickly. We may, at some point, we want to have a discussion and reconsider that the debt exclusion. I just also want to point out, I've expressed our concerns and to to the superintendent of DR. I had a similar conversation with Bristol Aggie and NBP. So everybody knows, our situation. As I told them, in October it was theoretical. Now it's reality. So, we will work through it. We'll do our best to continue to provide excellent service to the residents of the town of Dayton.
Thank you. Any questions? Yes? No? All right. Selectmen's reports. Do you have any?
I just have one thing, and I actually was able to talk to Ken about it real quick while he was here. The library building committee, I won't be able to attend those meetings anymore. I've had a change in employment, and
Okay.
I have no availability during the day anymore. So I asked him to bring it back to the committee on what they would like to see going forward. Do they want another selectman placed on there, or is me just looking over the minutes enough
Sure.
and making sure that I'm keeping up, and if they need anything, they can come to me. So he's gonna get back to me on that.
Okay, great. Mark, do you have anything?
I do.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. So I just wanted to say publicly, I'm very sorry for the passing of Adele Collard, who passed away on Saturday, December 14th, 2024. Adele, among being a friend, was a great friend to the town of Dayton. She served in many capacities, including on the Dayton Housing Authority. She was a member of the Council on Aging and the CPC. So she was always a familiar face that we'd see at events like what we had tonight, and so she'll be greatly missed. So
Sure.
I wanted to correct something that was said at the last Selectmen's meeting to the Selectmen regarding the Borges contract in CMAS. That does in fact expire right around June of this year. So it is coming up quick, and that will have a big impact on the budget. Our town administrator is working hard, and he'll update us at the next meeting. I know he's working with
Okay.
various entities, but I just wanted to bring that up. And just because debt exclusion was brought up, I just wanted to state publicly again, I'm not in favor of putting a debt exclusion forward again for Bristol Plymouth. I think we did it during a presidential election with such a high turnout, and I feel the board did a good job educating the public. So I feel like the townspeople have spoken, and as long as I'm here on the board, I'm just going to hold the line for the taxpayers. I feel like they spoke loud and clear, and I'm going to make sure we present a balanced
Sure.
budget within our means.
Okay.
Thank you, Mark.
We can't keep running it out to a vote just to get a different answer.
Right.
Okay. There is no old business, so we're going to move on to new business. Again, this is a review, discuss, and act. Housing Authority vacant seat. Anybody here for the Housing Authority? No? Are you making a motion to somebody?
I'm sorry, it was me. I was talking to you. Elizabeth. Elizabeth. I was just telling you to look at your phone.
No, do we have any information on the Housing Authority vacancy?
There's no information on it?
No.
Okay, so is there a motion on the floor to either table it or,
Oh, there was something that had to be done for it to be put on the
Special
ballot.
process.
Is that correct, Mark? Because hers was, this is for,
Yes, they might need a motion, but I'm not sure what it would be.
no, I'm not either, okay.
okay, let's just table it.
We have time anyways.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to table the Housing Authority vacant seat until we have further information.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Council on Aging requests to purchase a storage shed to store medical equipment. Again, this is a review, discuss, and act. We do that on purpose. Hi, how are you today?
I'm good, thank you. And I think this is too much over there.
You think this is what?
I can't see you guys.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot.
You're rearranging the whole room,
I know,
God.
it's a thing. Okay, so we received some grant funding from the Executive Office of Elder Affairs last year, and one of the things that we budgeted for was a new shed, because we are, as the letter explains, we're using a little trailer from, that was borrowed from the Dayton Fire Department. And since we received the money, we have picked out what we want, and we're discussing this, of course, with Mr. Aguirre and Mr. Ferry, and also the fire chief, and we need your approval to be able to put this shed up. In the picture, you'll see where it'll be between the Dayton Lions Club, the pavilion, and the COA building.
Did you go out to bid for anything, or
Not because it
it's
was
not
under
10,000, right? But did you contact anybody besides Home Depot?
We did not.
Okay. So you think that's the best price for it?
Well, one of the reasons we did go with the Home Depot is we have a credit card there.
Okay.
Are you getting points or something?
Can I borrow it?
So, that being said, it's a town credit card, and
Yep.
it's already tax exempt.
Okay,
And because we can't, the money is tied up, we have
Yep.
to pay for it.
Sure.
And then
and
get reimbursed. by
get
the
reimbursed
bank.
for it, okay.
So that's the route, that was the route we took.
Sure. I'm sure you've done your best, so we appreciate that. Thank you, you always have. Is there any concerns, Nicole, Mark?
You guys always do such a good job being illustrative, so I want to thank you. That makes it so much easier to understand, so keep that up. That's awesome. And did you, in fact, get a positive recommendation from the building commissioner and the fire chief and the highway superintendent?
So we did get a positive confirmation that it could be put there. Though today, somebody said that there might be a concern because of the fire pit. Nobody thought of the fire pit. So that's something that, if it was not allowed, I mean, he originally said yes, so I'm thinking that today was a new, something new. But we have enough room there that we can play with, maybe on the other side. If we should have to change the place, we'll come back to
Sure.
you
Okay,
Okay.
with a
thank you.
different request.
Okay, again, this was a motion to review, discuss, and act. So is there a motion on the floor, please?
I'll make a motion to approve the request to purchase a storage shed as presented, and I'm going to incorporate, if there are any changes, you'll let the board know.
Absolutely.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Donation of trees to the community garden. You taking this, Kevin? Sure.
Good evening. Yeah, so I had visited you, I think, sometime in December, and
Yep.
I'd let you know that we had received a generous donation, so I had dropped it a thank you letter to send back to those folks and for you guys to hear and then hopefully approve. So I just had wrote, Dear Round the Bend Farm Team, on the behalf of the Dayton community, the Board of Selectmen and the Parks and Recreation Commission would like to extend our gratitude for your generous donation. Your contribution of apple and pear trees are a wonderful addition to our community garden. Our town and community have been working to expand our community garden to supplement our Dayton Lions Club food pantry, providing fresh, locally grown produce for our community members. Contributions like yours make this all possible. We greatly appreciate the time and the effort spent by the Round the Bend Farm team to produce these wonderful trees. We look forward to nurturing them as they grow and harvesting their fruits, which will be greatly beneficial to their recipients. Again, we would like to thank you for your generosity and for your thoughtfulness. It's greatly appreciated, and we always keep Round the Bend Farm team in our thoughts as we enjoy watching these trees grow. Sincerely, the Town of Dayton Board of Selectmen and the Town of Dayton Parks and Rec Commission.
Great, nice job. And how big are the trees?
So right now, they're 2 years old, so they
Oh, so
stand
pretty
about
decent
yay
size.
high, and
Yeah.
they're about 2 years away from producing fruit. I did get to test plant one, and then I'm still waiting for I gotta reorganize pending, the weather.
Right.
With our friends, with some of the local scout troops to get the rest of them planted.
Okay,
But they're safely stored inside the fence of the community garden.
Yep.
They're gonna winter over there, and then
Right.
once we get especially now, I don't wanna go out there. I'm not digging
No.
or planting anything. But once the weather breaks, I'll organize something with some community members and scout
Great.
troops to get them all planted there.
okay,
so,
nice job.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, this is a review, discuss, and act, please.
Is there a way we could, I think this letter's awesome. I think it'd be more personable if we could sign it. Would you mind sending it to maybe Karen?
Well, so actually, it was sent to Leanne, and
Okay.
because it's part of the packet, but yeah, I think it would be nice if we could get it on a letterhead, and we can all All
Perfect.
signed, yeah.
Yes, thank you. And to take it one step further, once it's signed, could we put it on Facebook too, so that they can get some public recognition as well, that farm?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
So I'll make a motion to accept the donation of trees to the community garden from Round the Bend Farm.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. This is a review, discuss, and act again, a Wooded and Curran Route 44 Extension Feasibility Study.
Through the chair, as the board may remember, the town of Dayton received through the rural state grant $72,000, and we received matching funds from the NEU ARPA of $8,000 for a total for $80,000 to be put towards to be used specifically for the purpose of a feasibility study for the Route 44 grant. I'm sorry, for Route 44 feasibility study, sewer feasibility study. So part of the grant, we solicited qualifications from engineering firms, and we received a qualified bid from Woodard and Curran, and it was reviewed by myself. As I put in here, Karen Brady and Paul Reynolds, and we found out that the application, they met all the criteria that was established in the RFQ. I just want to point out to the board, again, that this is a grant, it was a specific grant for sewer feasibility. This was initiated by my predecessor, Mike Mullen. This is a part of the Dayton Economic Development Plan, specifically in regards to Route 44. There are conditions on that stretch of road here in Dayton, which limits commercial development, in particular in this instance sewer. So he saw the opportunity to do the feasibility study. The thing with Woodard and Curran is they had done a feasibility study for the town before for Route 138 sewer, but I want to point out one of the big things is we study, well, what about the execution of the study?
Yeah.
We could, include with the scope of work, what are financing options. They are pretty adept at identifying financing options. Several that come to mind are the betterments which each taxpayer takes on. There's the district increment financing, which it's a bonding mechanism. It's kind of complicated, but in a thumbnail, it's a bonding mechanism which the future bonds are paid for by the tax growth that you get as a result of the increased commercial base. That is something that has to go to town meeting to be approved. And another thing is the WIF, the Water Infrastructure Investment in Fund. It works similar to like a CPA funds. If the board approves awarding this to Woodard and Curran, that will definitely be in the scope of work, and I'm available to answer any questions on the grant or Woodard and Curran or whatever you want.
How much is going to cost us, the town, to do this? Nothing, the grant's going to cover
Right,
everything?
the grant is covering the whole thing.
Okay.
Again, we got it from the state and from, as we discussed at the last meeting, the NEU funds that result of ARPA that had to be used for, one of the things, the earmark for it is sewer study, so.
And let's say the whole thing passes and it's paid for and it's done. Are there residential aspects to this as well?
It's primarily for commercial purposes. I would have to take a look at Route 44. We may have mixed use along that stretch, so it would include that.
Okay, it concerns me that we could see a influx of 40Bs if this were to happen.
We could, at this time, I don't know the extension of, how the extension of the sewer would affect that.
Okay. And this is all that money can only be earmarked for this project?
Right.
Okay, any concerns, Nicole?
So my concern is, I understand it's grant funded, which is still our tax dollars.
No,
so
yeah,
I-
understood.
And the fact that I just don't see where we would go from there financially. I know you're talking about that we could have loans and bonds and the fact that it could be paid by tax growth, but I mean, this is all, what if we don't end up getting the growth
Right.
that we want? We've seen how challenging it has been to pay for Main Street,
Yeah.
which is a much smaller project than this. As important as I realize this is, I just am very concerned about taking a grant just to take a grant because it's offered to us when I feel like we wouldn't be able to execute any further.
Yeah. No, I understand, and I know, again, it was done by Mike, and definitely the reason was for it is because of the economic development plan that was put out, and it's listed as an action item to sort of review and study the extension of the sewer along Route 44. There was no other way we could meet that action item, without this grant.
I agree with Nicole. I think it's going to be an awfully expensive project. And just because, again, the grant is there doesn't mean we have to use it. But Mark, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your time.
I think we have an elected board of sewer commissioners, and this would be right down their alley. It's sewer that we're
Yep.
talking about. So I think their input's kind of pretty important. I mean, this is what they're elected to do.
Sure.
So I'd like to see the Board of Selectmen refer it to the sewer commissioner, and I would like to see either a yay or a nay from them.
Okay.
Their feelings.
All right.
So if through the chair,
Go ahead.
if I understand, we'll present it to the sewer commissioners, and if they recommend approval to move ahead, then we'll represent to the selectmen and
Right.
award it to Wood and Kirk. I guess
Okay.
are those the defined steps that you see? I wanted to say that.
I think before we can make a decision, I just need some input from the Board of Sewer Commissioners. I'd like to see them review the contract and give us a recommendation on that. Doesn't mean we have to take it, but I
Right.
would like to
No.
refer it to their,
Okay.
That's an elected board, and I think that they should review it.
Sure. All right, is there a motion to table then?
I'm going to make a motion to table the Woodward and Curran 44 extension feasibility study and to refer it to the Board of Sewer Commissioners for input.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Good job, Nicole. And Mark.
I was like, this was Mark.
Yeah. Okay, this is again a review, discuss, and act. Town of Dayton Recycling Dividends Program Awards, Program Funds Award for $3,360 from the Mass DEP, Department of Environmental Protection. Is this you?
You want me to speak to it, or does anybody? Okay, so this is part of, every year we're part of I'm calling it the retract program we put in, and what the town of Dayton is doing for in solid waste reduction and recycling. And we present to the DEP what we do, and as a result, because of our actions, they award us some funds to put towards other things in education and or education on recycling and things like that. So this is this year we were awarded was it $3,500, and then in about I think 6 weeks we're gonna put in for last year's and see what we get. So that's
Okay.
it.
Awesome. Is there a motion on the floor to accept?
I'd like to make a motion to accept the Town of Dayton Dividends Program Funds Award in the amount of $3,360 from Mass DEP, as presented.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Yes, sir. Sure.
Oh, can you come up to the mic, just for folks at home? I apologize. Thank you.
So I've been working with Missy Hollenbeck, you know, the regional manager, and she had a presentation about what we need to do in order to submit for those grants. It's like a three-step program. The first piece is a letter from the town administrator. I have a draft from one from the town of Westwood. We can use the same language. We just cut it out, make it town of Dayton, pretty cookie cutter. And then it would have to be signed by the town administrator. And I can submit it, and that's no problem. And then the second piece is a policy manual from the Selectmen. Again, it's a cookie cutter form. I can send that either to the Selectmen. I've sent copies to Liz and to everyone else on the Board of Health to review. And then we submit those two pieces of information. The letter has to be signed by the town administrator. It's not the Board of Health. Then the second phase of that is going through something called retrack, which I've already registered for. They kick off like an initiation email. You join in, and then you start submitting the pieces that you need onto retrack. That's phase 2. Then phase 3 is they look at it, and then they approve it, and then you get the funding. It's also a points program. So if you don't do these things in a timely manner, you will lose a point, and those points are money. You know, so it has to be done. I have the deadlines. I've sent all the documents over to Liz and to the other Board of Health members. So it's very important that you get those in, because if you lose those points, the town will lose money.
Okay.
Okay. So I sent a letter over to Liz, or I can draft it either way, that we get to the town administrator. That would be the first phase. That gets emailed to a person, Rebecca, I forget her last name. I'll email that directly to her, and then we go from there. So that's just all I wanted to say with that. But it's extremely important to get that letter signed by the town administrator in first, and the policy.
Great. Good job.
What kind
Right.
of policy?
It's just a little cookie cutter form. It just says, it'll say Town of Dayton, Selectmen, all of your names, and then it has to do with like the recycle. It's, again, very cookie cutter. Missy had said just, use the same format, the same language, but it's all going to be from the Town of Dayton.
Okay.
Liz has that as well, so we can coordinate that. Okay.
Thank you.
Through the
Thank you for
chair,
being on top of that.
just to add on, we do have that, and we're going to present that the January 22nd. It's the recycling, the municipal recycling policy that we do every year. So we have a letter. We have a letter in place, and we're going to put the backup information on. So I'm going to present it to the board for January 22nd, and we should have everything in time.
Oh, and one other thing that I'm thinking of I need a copy of the solid waste survey. It's a document, we should have one from last year. So I can get in touch with the solid waste committee if there's not one on file from last year. I'm not sure.
Tom Ferry. We're working, I will speak to you later on, because I think we might be doing the same thing.
Sure.
So we don't want to.
Yeah, because that's one of the key documents that has to be submitted to the retrack website for the state to process. So, okay, we can talk about that later.
Thank you.
Good job. Like I said, thank you. Okay, this was a review, discuss, and act. So we have to vote to accept the award.
I think
you did
It
it.
was motion and seconded, I think.
Oh, I'm
right.
sorry.
We have to vote it.
I got wrapped up. Okay.
So I think we do have to vote it.
We have to act on it now.
Aye.
So is this a vote?
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Nicole Mello, aye.
And Peter Karen, aye. Thank you.
Perfect.
Okay, this again is a review, discuss, and act, MSBA, Dayton Elementary School Design Enrollment Signature Designation, which I signed today.
Yeah. This is an update, the MSBA one. We're looking for the school project. They need a member of the town who has the authority to sign for confirmation, and that's what that is.
And I believe generally would always be the chair of,
Right.
of the board.
It's usually listed as the chair, right?
Usually listed as the chair. I have no questions.
Okay. All right, then is there a motion on the floor?
I'll make a motion to accept the letter from the MSBA and to have Chairman Karen be the signature designee.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Review, discuss, and act cost of living adjustment increase for the non-union employees.
Okay, in your packets, you have a list for the non-union employees. Typically, this helps in our budgeting purpose, for budgeting purposes to understand what we put in. Generally speaking, we go along with the union, with the union increases. The town accountant had put in 2.5% for everyone who's listed on there. In addition to, they also have the list of board and committee members. So again, as I spoke earlier, eventually I'm going to need some direction from the board as to what to do with that. So I'm available if you have any questions.
Okay, I have no issues. Nicole, do you have any concerns?
No.
Mark?
So we have a list of non-union employees. In this list, we have elected officials, and we have folks with contracts and without contracts. So I understand that elected officials can't have a contract.
Right.
So it makes sense that we would award them a similar increase we would give our contract employees. However, I'm not in favor of giving non-contract employees a raise this year. There's 3 of them on there who are significant department heads. I think in sound financial times, it's okay, but a contract does a few things. It protects the employee, it defines their job, and it protects the town. So I think it limits some liability for us. When they retire or separate, it clearly defines the separation, what they'll get for sick time and vacation, and it's 2025. I think we're behind the times. Other than our elected officials, all our employees should be in a union or be awarded a contract. So I would just I'd like to see we award the 2.5% to elected officials and non-union employees who have a contract, and award no raise to non-union employees with no contract. However, that the town invites them in to negotiate, and if they meet that criteria before we hit town meeting, we of course give them a raise. So that would be an incentive for those employees to negotiate a contract with us. Further, as far as the board and committee stipends, it was presented in the budget email that went out that we're hoping not to. So it shows here that they are getting stipends, but I'm in favor of not awarding stipends for this fiscal year. It's an easy, it looks here like $78,000 the town can cut. These are folks who, and we're included, are in large part volunteering to try to make the town better. Not everything we do has to be compensated.
Okay,
Those are my thoughts.
great. Thank you.
I have a question. This might be a silly question. Why are some of them not in contracts? Like, why isn't everyone either union or in a contract?
It's my understanding that I don't think that they wanted them.
All right.
But I think our job is to look half of the best interest of the town, I think it will reduce the liability for us.
Do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you, Nicole, I don't know.
Okay.
I just kind of found out, like.
I didn't know if there was a benefit that I just
Two,
didn't
yeah,
understand.
like 2 weeks ago, that these individuals don't have a contract, and I was like,
Is it uncommon within municipal government for there to be employees that don't have contracts if they're not union?
Common.
Is at a department head level, it's unless it's, spelled out in your job description, is through HR, then you would have a contract.
Okay.
So I could do some, research on that and get back to you. So.
Okay.
Just as a personal example, when I was the director of planning and economic development for the town of Sandwich, I didn't have a contract. I was non-union, but my role was defined, in my job description. So, and then the budget process determined what my annual salary and raise would be. But as management, I was. I didn't get overtime or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I could do some further research on that.
And then, Mark, I'm sorry, go back to what you said. Did you mention cutting the boards and committees stipends?
If we can find in the budget process it's possible for us to keep it, I think that would be fantastic, because we do want to attract the best folks for these positions. However, if we find that we can't, going into it, I think we should fund it at zero, and if hopefully the budget process works out and we can change it, but right now, I think it makes sense that it's a difficult decision, but we're the ones that will be making them and it's, again, if we can find it in the budget, through the budget process, and I think that'd be a more appropriate time to talk about
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Than right now, but it is presented in front of us now, so if we start off with the zero, and we hope somehow we can fund it, then I would of course want to, but I think going into it, we should fund it at zero.
Through the chair, if I could provide a comment on that, you may you may want to table this portion
Right, that's
of
what I was
it,
thinking
and we could act. I could act under the advice that it's zero until we get better, budget numbers, and then we could revisit it and to see, if there is a stipend, and would it be increased over the prior year.
And it looked like we were already collecting some information from other surrounding towns
Right.
in regards to, so that might, depending on what the budget looks like, we can use that information to, if we have to, rearrange this.
Well, I don't think there should be an increase over last year for the stipends. If they're still kept in the budget, I think they should be leveled even. But with that said, I think we should table it.
Mr. Chairman, do you want to act on the non-union?
Oh,
employees
yes,
today?
absolutely. They have to know.
Okay. So, with that said, I'm going to make a motion to approve a, excuse me,
Cost of living adjustment?
yeah, a 2.5% cost of a living adjustment increase for all, hold on, I just need a second here.
Sure, take your time.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion to approve a 2.5% cost of living increase for all non-union full-time positions, including elected positions with contracts.
I'll second that.
Okay, a motion is made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye. I'd like to make a motion to approve a 0% cost of living increase for all non-union full-time positions without contracts, and to further invite them into negotiations to gain a contract.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion made. I just want to understand it. Can you say it again, Mark?
So I'm gonna make a motion to approve a 0% cost of
Please,
living
okay, I
increase.
understand now. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay, a motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Okay.
There,
Going to table,
there's, one more, cost of increase for a part-time, non-benefited. There's a request from the town accountant for us to make a decision on a cost of living increase for part-time, non-benefited positions. So that must be in this non-union employee list as well.
Yeah.
COA mostly, the COA.
the what?
The Council on Aging.
Council on Aging?
Yeah, yeah.
So do you have a motion, Mark?
Well, they're looking for feedback on this. I'm
Right.
not, so they don't have a contract.
Right.
They're part-time.
Yep. And you want them to come to the table?
I think that is something that we should talk about through the budget process.
Okay.
I think I need more information, and they're also looking for, we talked about board and committees.
Yep.
Okay, so my feedback for that, I don't think we need a motion, is,
Okay.
part-time, non-benefited, positions, we can work it out through the budget process.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Sure.
Yep.
That's not a review, discuss, and act then.
No.
Is that okay?
No, I'm a little confused. I apologize. I think we're looking for some,
Um,
are they gonna get the,
Need a motion.
we do, yeah, that, they're, I mean, the budget process is,
Too
you know, we
vague?
want.
I think that I would
Yeah,
like.
the 2.5% is like, is what we're looking for. So-
I think that the leadership of the Council on Aging can put in a request, and we will review it for the budget process. I think I'm not prepared to make a motion tonight.
Okay.
Sure.
Just come to the mic, sorry.
So the Council on Aging's part-time staff are not funded through any town budget funding. It's through the prime time fees that we acquire, so because prime time is self-supporting, we wouldn't be asking the townspeople for a raise for those employees. We are financially stable at the moment, and we will look over those numbers and see if we can give them a 2% raise, or however we decide.
Right, okay.
Going forward.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Then, review, discuss, and act the ratification of police memorandum of understanding for a community resource officer.
This was discussed at the last executive session
Right.
of the board, so we have to ratify it in open session.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to ratify the police MOU as presented.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Again, a review, discuss, and act resignation of library page Christine Haskell. To the Selectmen, from Mark, this is dated December 30th, resignation of library page. It's whether we accept it or not, which is pretty standard that we do.
Can I just comment on this?
Sure.
I just want to read the last sentence.
Okay.
The library page position is a part-time, non-union position, and the job description approved by the library trustees at the same meeting will be posted to the MBLC website and the Sales Job Network. I read that a couple of times in the resignation. I think generally that'd be a separate correspondence.
Right.
Posting a position, so I was a little surprised
That it be there.
that it was there. I understand the library board is a separately elected body.
Mm-hmm.
And that this is probably within their purview to post. However, the Board of Selectmen did institute a hiring freeze, and we're all feeling the pains. So I'm just calling on the library. I think the Board of Selectmen and the town has been very supportive of the library. We've purchased a beautiful building. we're renovating it, it's gonna be great. The library offers great services. However, I'm concerned about our employees that we have currently. I want them to get raises, I want them to have careers in the town, and we're in a tough financial position. So I would like to call on the library board to show some leadership and see what they can do between now and June. We've asked for a reduction in all budget lines, so even though it's in the budget right now, it's very possible it won't be in the budget in fiscal year '26. So to see that the library board is hiring a part-time, non-union position is a little surprising to me. And I don't have all the facts. This is all we were given, is these 2 lines.
Right.
But I was disappointed. I found the job posting online, and I was further disappointed. It does tie up our human resources. It goes to our human resources person, applications. And so it's tying up our office staff. We really aren't hiring right now. So,
Right.
I know I'm running on here, but
No, that's okay.
I think it's almost to the point where what this tells me on a bigger picture is maybe our departments don't understand to the extent of the picture that we're in. This makes me want to, my first thought when I read this is, they don't get it, and we need to have a budget freeze. We need to make it, it's clearly, we need to, just because the funds are available in FY '25, we know that much of them aren't going to be available in FY '26. So this makes me want to make it, to discuss a budget freeze for the rest of the fiscal year, and to make it, to really let our departments know how big of a deal this is. So, all right, I've gone on long enough. Those are my thoughts.
No, a quick question. What do you mean by budget freeze? They have to stay within the budget to begin with for the rest of the fiscal year. So are you talking about they can't spend any money?
It would definitely be something for the board to discuss. Other boards of selectmen and other communities have done budget freezes. I think it could take various forms. Like, for instance, we could say, obviously we have to pay bills,
Right.
But for other items, like an electric bill or gas bill, we could either have goes through if it's within the board of selectmen's control, they could come to us to pay the bill, or it could go through like a finance and salaries committee we could form, where folks have to get up and say, hey, listen, there's 3 months left in the fiscal year, I need paper, so it could go through a budget and
Yeah.
finance. There's different ways to do
Yeah,
this.
that's a lot of work. Not that I'm afraid of work, but that the department heads, they have their budget. As long as they don't go beyond that budget. Now, if you're talking about 2026, then certainly I think there should be either level funding or a cut. But
This tells me there's this.
miscommunication between why are they posting a position that
Right.
we've told them that they can't fill because there's a hiring freeze.
Absolutely.
Right.
It might be within their budget, they might have the funds, but
Okay.
they're not thinking long-term.
Yep. Okay, well, first of all, we have to accept her resignation, which I think we should, obviously. And then what you're asking for is probably discussed at a separate time.
Yes.
Okay. So is there a motion on the floor to accept her resignation?
I'll make a motion to accept the resignation of Christine Haskell, effective January 4th, with thanks and appreciation.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, approval of the warrants.
All right, I'd like to make a motion to approve the warrants paid by December 19th, 2024, 25A-25 for $127,263.60, and 25B-25 for $86,497.02. Warrants paid by December 26, 2024, 26A-25 for $138,636.49, and 26B-25 for $70,749.39. Warrants paid by January 2nd, 25, 27A-25 for $122,609.52, and 27B-25 for $69,749.52. $696.01. Warrants paid by January 9, 2025. 28A-25 for $120,676.27. 28B-25 for $634,740.93. And 28C-25 for $3,328.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the last chance for public input. Yes, ma'am.
Would it be appropriate this time if I presented a letter that was drafted by the Board of Health about the trash bag pricing?
Sure.
I submitted it earlier this week and didn't make it to the agenda in time. I apologize, but I can email it to you later today.
Sure, please.
So the Dayton Board of Health has written a letter to send out to residents. As written, Dear Dayton residents, as you are aware, the cost of services, supply and demand have increased over the last few years. Unfortunately, the cost of trash disposal has been on the same trend. The price of trash bags has not increased since 2020. However, in that same time, the cost of disposal has increased over 54%, from $388,000 in 2019 to $599,000 in 2024. Our contract with Borges Brothers will be expiring in 2025, and we have been informed that the cost will be increasing once again. Landfills are closing, and the disposing of trash has become more challenging for all municipalities. The Dayton Solid Waste Committee and the Dayton Board of Health have made a recommendation to the Board of Selectmen to increase trash bag prices from $20 per roll to $28 per roll, a $2.80 per bag increase, or 80-cent increase, and $10 per roll to $14 per roll for the smalls, 40-cent per bag increase for the smalls. This represents a 40% increase. The Board of Selectmen approved the increase on December 11th with a start date of February 1st. Even with the cost increase, the program is still in a deficit. The Board of Health, along with the Solid Waste Committee, will continue to look for ways to reduce cost by supplementing the program and applying for pertinent grants. Residents can help by reducing bulk, composting waste, food waste, and reducing waste means reducing weight. Be aware of your purchases. Can you reuse the package you bought? The Solid Waste is working with Mass DEP on implementing a swap shed where residents can leave used items that are still in good condition for others to take. More to come on this soon. Sorry, my phone.
Take your time.
I should have printed it out. No, my phone keeps flipping.
Sure.
So they're working with Mass DEP on implementing a swap shed where residents can leave used items that are in good condition for others to take. More to come on this soon. Residents can also have the option to take advantage of privatized trash. This option was also researched, and the cost of the pay-as-you-throw program is indisputably the best option. Going forward, the Board of Health, along with the Solid Waste Committee, will be analyzing the cost annually in order to better prepare for future price increases in disposal. It has a link to the website so they can continue to check for updates. So that was what we presented to the Selectman's office to have mailed out to residents.
Okay.
But no, we wanted to get it on your next two meetings so we can make the two announcements.
Sure.
That way residents aren't blindsided on February 1st.
Well, we certainly can make it under announcements, but there's no legal reason why it has to be made 3 times.
Okay.
I think it was a myth that that was the case.
Oh, gotcha.
But thank you.
Thank you.
Good job. Okay, minutes, please.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the Board of Selectmen regular meeting minutes of December 11th, 2024.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we have to go into executive session. I believe you're all staying, correct? You have to leave?
You have to.
Okay, take your time. While she's doing that, can we have a motion to go into executive session, please?
I'd like to make a motion to go into executive session under Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 30A, Section 21A2, to conduct strategy sessions in preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel or to conduct collective bargaining sessions or contract negotiations with non-union personnel, health agent, town nurse.
Okay. We have to do a roll.
Second that.
What's that?
Oh, I was seconding the motion.
Oh, sure. Motion made and seconded. Any discussion?
I just wanted to finish.
Oh,
I want to add to the motion.
Yeah.
To approve the Board of Selectmen executive session meeting minutes of December 11th, 2024.
Okay.
Now I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
We will not be returning from executive session, so thank you for your time this evening. All
Did
set,
we need
Dave.
a roll call vote?
No?
No?
No. Oh, Nicole Mello, aye.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
And Peter Karen, aye.